Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box, where today I want to talk about one of the finest jazz pianists ever. And by jazz, I really mean jazz fusion. This is funky, this is rocky, this is fun, but it's also virtuosic. And not only was Hal Galper the man of the hour, a great pianist, but he was also a wonderful arranger and wonderful composer and band leader. And nowhere is this more apparent than on his first three solo albums with his guerrilla band. And what a cast of great musicians he put together. His first album with this group, funnily enough, was called The Gorilla Band, and it was on Mainstream Records, which, along with CTI and Black Records and Strata East, were, in my view, four of the most influential sort of new jazz, jazz fusion, avant-garde jazz, combination of all these things, labels in the 70s. And what a lineup he had. On bass, he had Victor Gaskin, who had played with everyone by then. He was a real jazz veteran who'd played with everyone, starting with Ellington right up to the contemporary cats of the 70s. You had the Brecker brothers, Randy and Michael, on trumpet and sax, respectively, who would go on, of course, to form the Brecker brothers and play with everyone in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, etc. And you had two drummers, Charles Alice and Steve Hass, and both were wonderful. Now, this lineup remained relatively intact across the second album, which is another real home run, and this was called Wild Bird. These two albums are definitely a must-have, and luckily they're now on streaming services. Then his final album on mainstream was a bit of a different kind of album. It was a trio with some very famous names. It was obviously Hal on piano, the wonderful Dave Holland on bass, and the very talented Bill Goodwin on drums. Now, those three albums are a must listen, but you should really check out everything that Hal did because he really never put a foot wrong. And he played with some of the great jazz luminaries of all time. He played with Cannonball Adderley, wonderful, wonderful musician. He played with Nat Adderley. He played with Chet Baker long before, well, about 10 years before he started the Gorilla Band. He played with the Brecker brothers on and off throughout his career. He played with Phil Woods, great saxophonist throughout the 1980s. Really good stuff. But definitely check out those first three albums. And I would say that even if you think you hate jazz because you've been played the wrong kind, you're going to love this. This is music you can really get down to. It is fun music, but it is virtuosic, it is intricate, it is groovy. It's really good stuff. Hal Galper, real virtuoso of a musician. Definitely check him out. He's still very much around. He's one of the good ones, so you don't want to miss it. Like and subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you next time. Take care.